Hi folks, Huffin here with another spell to end fascism. This one is directed at unknown organizations. This is a bowl I haven't used for anything before, so I figured I'll use it for unknown things. Things that maybe don't claim or show themselves as obviously fascist, but that are. And so just to magically expose and destroy fascism from within unknown organizations. Now, some groups, like, we all know that they're fascists, we all know that they're Trumpers, or that they're organized with Trump, but they don't claim it, like the Boogaloos, who are the people who, Trump terrorists who infiltrate protests, like Black Lives Matter protests, and kill cops. Like, the only cops that were killed at Black Lives Matter protests were killed by Trumpers, by Boogaloos, trying to cause greater violence or cause some type of reaction, provoke a reaction against the protesters, or just to make the protesters look bad. These same types might be ones starting lootings and stuff like that. I've definitely seen cops starting some lootings, seen videos of cops in New York City, the Bronx, I believe, sawing into a jewelry store to start looting there during some of the early months of the protests. And of course that cop who was breaking the windows at AutoZone, stuff like that. There's been various cops who've been starting their looting. But there's also these like kind of side organizations, like the libertarians, for instance. I call them the incel libertarians. Don't claim to be Republicans, but basically are. Just, of a different stripe. So they'll market this stuff that they know most people find detestable, and they'll market it in other ways to remove this part or that part of the obvious offense to get other people into it. And that's how you end up with all these kind of secret or masked fascists. Now, you also end up with a lot of them, like, say, in the Democratic Party. Like, the Republicans are all fascists. Like, they're pretty much the definition. But a lot of the people that they get to infiltrate the Democrats and just do a poor job or make sure that nothing really gets done, there is no real opposition, are also fascists. You can see I got a big chunk at that time to back that statement up. But it is kind of hard to melt it off. This candle gets even more. But then there's also just secret organizations, or open organizations that are not secretive at all, but that are being completely fascist. Facebook is one. Facebook is one of the most key businesses in promoting fascism in America, besides just like oil and weapons manufacturers or whatever. But I mean, really, Facebook is the most influential of all of them for organizing and managing and perpetuating fascism, including making certain people seem popular so they can become presidents of America and Brazil and India. So I've done a specific spell against Facebook and social media, and I'll be doing more. But since some people don't know they're fascist, then they do fall into the category of the unknown fascists, because they certainly are. Now, other groups that just nobody has any idea about them, nobody's really paying any attention to them, and they could be in any field, in any type of business. Other groups are fascist and are part of this whole fascist network, but they've organized on different principles or around different activities. But who knows? This could be anything, really. Any business could be like a part of the secret fascist network, like anything you can think of, because they could just be secretly connected or supporting. So this is basically for anything we don't know. It'd be great to be able to find it out. Finding out is one way to help stop things, but of course even the ones we do know, we can't necessarily stop them all. But for anything we don't know, I want to go ahead and magically expose fascism in any organization we don't know, which hopefully will result in like exposing an organization. Like they're supposedly taking down the NRA as a terrorist kind of fraud. Well, as a fraud organization, as a con organization. I think they should take them down as a terrorist organization, but they're exposing certain organizations that everybody could tell. But there will always be more to expose that nobody suspected. There's a big one for that, to back that up. So when they start exposing and taking down companies, networks, businesses that nobody expected were fascist or were part of it, then we'll start to see some real changes. Just like you started to see companies saying, we're not going to donate to any political candidates anymore, like after, I guess, the Trump insurrection. But I don't know how quickly they went back on that and are donating again. But you never know which ones have been supporting. Well, I mean, some people do know some of the ones have been supporting bad politicians and stuff the whole time. But you never know who's been supporting, to what extent, all the different types of fascism that exist in America and in the world. So we need everything we can do to expose them, find them out, including this magic. So this is the magic I'm doing, to expose these fascists, find them out. And it's going to look like there's a lot more to be done, because again, the unknown, you don't know what you don't know, but you can tell it's out there. And when we're diligent enough about stopping it, we will eventually find out what some of these businesses and groups and networks are all about. But for now, I'll light this back up, if I can, for a little bit more, because there's so much right here at the edge. It's ready to come out. And even though I'll need to come back and do more again, I'm going to get as much as you can. Expose and end any remaining fascism in America. I mean, there's plenty remaining now, but specifically within the things that we don't even know about. Expose them. I mean, when the ones we do know about finally go down, they'll end up turning on the other ones. Or if they're smart, even the ones we don't know about will admit, hey, I was part of this, in order to get out ahead of the betrayals and be part of them taking down the other fascists. Especially, hopefully people, like I said, these organizations, they organize based on not letting people know what they're really all about. So it's not like their members are as guilty of fascism as the organizers. But when it starts coming out, hey, you're connected to this too, you're connected to this too, then it would do better for whoever does know how they're connected to go ahead and turn on the other ones. The sooner you turn on the other ones, the less chance they'll turn on you, or that you'll get caught up in the whole network of them. So that's the kind of thing that they might not be expecting, but magic like this can provoke. So also just catching them, and that happens all the time. People catching different people being part of this all the time. Nobody really paid that much attention to Weisselberg, for instance, before he got arrested for being associated with Trump. And that's how it's going to go down. The longer they're out there, the longer any of them are out there, the more they'll do to incriminate other ones, until they're all just flipping on each other like a house of pancakes. But hopefully that'll include Trump soon flipping on Putin. But we do know, it's the KKK and the KGB. As secretive as they can be, that's who it is underneath it. So that's all I'll do for now. Put out the light of truth. Save some of this candle for later. But thanks for watching, sharing, participating in this magic, helping end fascism, because we're all going to do it. It's all part of all of our hearts and part of truth and justice that we all seek and truly believe in. Thanks. See you soon.